Hi, I'm Nick Smith from SquarePegs Coaching, and as part of my work over the last years working with leaders and with their teams, I've talked about the concept of psychological safety quite often, and I thought it would be good to do a bit of a video to explain what do I mean when I talk about psychological safety, and as leaders, what can we do to bring it about. Contributor safety. Everyone is equal, so everyone can contribute. Yes, some people know more and some know less, but everyone is able to express themselves and bring something to the table. And we need to remember that. People volunteer information, they volunteer ideas, they bring as much of themselves as they can when they feel comfortable. But when they don't, they withhold it. Sometimes quite deliberately, sometimes almost maliciously, and so the team falls down as a result. And we want the opposite. We want people to contribute as much as possible, as many ideas as possible, so that we know what they're thinking, but so that we have all the different ideas on the table and we can evaluate them as such. You can't evaluate something that you don't yet know about because it's not been said. In order to have the best ideas, we need to have as many ideas as possible. But people need to be comfortable with that and want to share. I was sat on a plane, a Thai Airways plane going to Asia, a long haul flight obviously, and the person next to me had big elbows, but no English, and I'm not a conflict kind of person, and I didn't say anything. I just kind of got smaller and smaller in my seat and allowed big elbows to win, until the point where a meal came round and they finished their meal and went to drink their tea and looked for the milk. Their English was so poor that when they read the mayonnaise sachet it didn't mean anything, so they opened it, and I looked and I could have said something to help them, and I didn't. And I still remember that and think, yeah, I should have. But I also recognise that I wasn't a big fan of volunteering that information because I wasn't comfortable. We need to avoid that in our teams. And we need to allow people to feel comfortable enough that they will contribute at any and every opportunity. So let's look at ourselves to an extent in terms of, okay, when people contribute, how do we react? And particularly, is it different for different people? We need to value people equally and value their contribution equally, and we can evaluate it later, but it's that instant reaction and then we can think about it. Okay? So when it comes down to it, do I react verbally? Do I react non-verbally? Do I react the same to a high achiever as to someone else? Am I willing to take contributions on board from all sides? Or do I go, oh, that's... People will pick up on our reactions. So some thinking around how we can do this. I think first off, as leaders, how much are we telling versus asking? When we tell, back to the leader's oracle idea, we don't invite contribution. When we ask, we're deliberately looking for their viewpoint, assuming we ask and we listen and we don't just dismiss once they've spoken. But asking questions is definitely where we should be at as leaders. But secondly, if we are the leaders, are we the first to jump in with an opinion, with an idea? We're sat in a team meeting and here's a question raised and we voice our opinion and everyone else goes, oh, that must be the right opinion then, and shut up. It doesn't help them to contribute. But then actually allowing people and maybe asking people to think beyond their own role into other areas, deliberately seeking contribution that we all recognise might not be expert because it's not their role, but it's wanting an input, maybe an external view on things. And finally, thinking about how do you react to a contribution, maybe deliberately taking a breath before you do or say anything. As soon as someone says something, go, right, I'm going to take a breath once they finish speaking. It's a good chance for us to deliberately listen as well. So, in terms of respect and permission, with contributor safety, we give people respect for their ability to create value equally. And we give them permission for them to work with independence and using their own judgment. And so we get this degree of autonomy with guidance for them, and they give us results. So in terms of a challenge for you, stop and think, how do you react when someone in your team contributes something and is equal for all people?